What is the area of yellow region, X? Label points A, B, C, D, and E. Let the length of the square BY and line C, D equals to G. It implies that angle AC, B equals 45 degrees, which equals angle BA, C that is equals to angle DCE. For triangle B, C, D. Area equals half the product of G and Y times sine 45 degrees, which equals 4. Cross-multiply and solve for G. We have that the product of G and Y times sine 45 degrees equals 8. Simplify and we have that G equals the product of 8 and the square root of 2, all divided by Y. We call it equation 1. Let line A, D equals Q. Area of triangle AD, B equals half the product of Q and Y times sine 45 degrees, which equals 2. Cross-multiply and solve for 2. It follows that Q times Y equals the product of 4 and the square root of 2, all divided by Y. We call it equation 2. By Pythagoras' theorem, the square of line A, C equals 2 times the square of Y. Take the square root of the equation and we have that. It implies that line A, C equals Y times the square root of 2. But line A, C equals the sum of Q and G. Substitute values. It means that the sum of the product of 8 and the square root of 2, all divided by Y, and the product of 4 and the square root of 2, all divided by Y equals Y times the square root of 2. Simplify and we have that 12 times the square root of 2 divided by Y equals Y times the square root of 2. Cross-multiply and we have that 12 times the square root of 2 equals to the square of Y times the square root of 2. Take the square root of the equation. It signifies that Y equals 2 times the square root of 3. After simplification, substitute value in equation 1 and simplify to have that G equals the product of 4 and the square root of 6, all divided by 3. Consider triangle B, C, D and use cosine rule. We have that the square of line B, D equals the sum of the square of Y and G minus the product of 2 and Y times G times cosine 45 degrees. Substitute values. Simplify to have that the square of line B, D equals 20 divided by 3 as shown on the screen. Take the square root of the equation. We have obtained that line B, D equals the square root of 20 divided by 3, which equals the product of 2 and the square root of 5 divided by 3. Let angle be D, C equals beta. Use sine rule. Y divided by sine beta equals line B, D divided by sine 45 degrees. Cross multiply and solve for sine beta. It implies that sine beta equals y times sine 45 degrees. All divided by line B, D, which equals to 2 times 3. All divided by the square root of 40. We call it equation 3. Thus, angle CD, E equals 90 degrees minus beta. It follows that angle CED equals the sum of beta and 45 degrees, after substitution and simplification of values. Since line C, D equals G, which equals the product of 4 and the square root of 6. All divided by 3. From triangle CED. Use sine rule. G divided by the sum of beta and 45 degrees equals to line C, E divided by sine 90 degrees minus beta. Substitute values. We obtained equation 4 as shown on the screen. By trigonometric identity. Sine of the sum of beta and 45 degrees equals the sum of sine beta and cosine beta. All divided by the square root of 2. Also, cosine beta equals 1 divided by the square root of 10. After substitution and simplification of value, using trigonometric identity. Now let's substitute our values obtained in sine of the sum of beta and 45 degrees. This gives us 4 divided by the square root of 20, which simplified to 2 divided by the square root of 5. Again, sine 90 degrees minus beta equals cosine beta as shown. Substitute value for cos beta and we have that. Sine 90 degrees minus beta equals 1 divided by the square root of 10. Then, substitute in all the values we obtained in equation 4. Hence, the ratio of 4 times the square root of 6 divided by 3 to 2 divided by the square root of 5 equals to line C. E divided by 1 divided by the square root of 10. Cross-multiply and solve for line C, E. We obtained a numerical equation for line C, E as shown on the screen. Simplify it and we have that. Line C, E equals the product of 2 and the square root of 3. All divided by 3. Or 2 divided by the square root of 3.